already existing calls to rename the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, the site of a violent clash between police and peaceful civil rights demonstrators in 1965, has grown following the death of civil rights leader Representative John Lewis. Lewis, a 17-term Georgia congressman, died Friday at the age of 80 after a months-long battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The bridge was the site of Bloody Sunday, the violent March 7, 1965 clash between 600 peaceful civil rights protesters led by a then 25-year-old Lewis, and baton-wielding police, and vigilantes waving Confederate flags. According to Lewis, was seriously injured as part of his involvement in the protest. According to Smithsonian Magazine, Pettus was considered a respected figure in Alabama during his time, serving as both a lawyer and a U.S. Senator. His history, however, is clouded by his position as both a decorated Confederate general and a leader of the Alabama chapter of the Ku Klux Klan, according to Smithsonian. The bridge, which sits atop the Alabama River, was named after Pettus in 1940, 3 decades after he died, the magazine reported. The bridge was named for him, in part, to memorialize his history of restraining and imprisoning African Americans in their quest for freedom after the Civil War, University of Alabama history professor John Giggy told Smithsonian. After the civil rights leader died Friday, social media lit up with calls to rename the historic landmark. "There's a bridge needs a new name," former New York U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara said in a tweet early Saturday. "It would be fitting to rename the Edmund Pettus Bridge after John Lewis, the conscience of Congress," longtime NBC News journalist Andrea Mitchell said in a tweet. "He once told me how the Kennedy brothers did not agree to the Oval Office meeting with Dr. King before the '63 march until afterward because they feared it would be violent." Similar calls were prevalent across Twitter on Saturday morning. While said they supported renaming the bridge after Lewis, they also expressed a desire for a renewed focus on the Voting Rights Act following the congressman's death. The Voting Rights Act, passed in 1965, was largely gutted by the Supreme Court in its 2013 decision in Shelby County v. Holder. While the congressman's Friday death amplified calls to rename the Bloody Sunday Bridge, calls to rename the landmark after Lewis have circulated for years, reported. This year, the effort has been spearheaded by the John Lewis Bridge Project, a nonprofit founded by political strategist Michael Starr Hopkins, according to the outlet. As of Saturday morning, more than 390,000 people have signed a petition organized by Hopkins to rename the Selma Bridge after the civil rights leader. "Edmund Pettus was a bitter racist, undeserving of the honor bestowed upon him," Hopkins wrote alongside the petition.